What's up, guys? I'm gonna get right into this video and we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go Triple G versus Canelo Alvarez. And I'm just reading some things. I'm getting hyped up now because De La Hoya came out in an article saying Canelo beat Golovkin 115-113. GGG can't adjust. GGG can't adjust. I mean, this is a promoter. Boxing is definitely shady, all right? Anybody watching boxing, if they're honest, they're going to tell you, Teddy Atlas will tell you, that boxing is crazy shady. You got to understand, if you're here for the first time, I have credibility. Go through my fight predictions and breakdowns over the years, and you will see quickly that I know what I'm talking about. I'm confident I know what I'm talking about, and I'm not worried about being wrong, because if I'm wrong, occasionally I'm going to be wrong. Nobody's 100% right all the time. I'm going to just tell you, face up to it and accept it and just tell you the real deal, how I feel with my boxing experience from analysis and from just being really good and knowing what I'm watching, because boxing is my only sport. I don't watch anything else except the UFC. I watch some soccer when I'm hanging out with some people, football, if you will, because I'm in Europe. I live there sometimes for a while. So, you know, I do watch, I watch it. But I don't really know what I'm watching with other sports. I really don't watch football, baseball. Always been boxing since I was a little kid in diapers, just watching boxing. That's what I do. I analyze it. I see who's going to win. I make predictions off of what I see going into fights, off of what I see throughout the years, many, many years of boxing experience. Just watching it and just knowing what's going on. And I'm going to tell you guys, of course, De La Hoya, I mean, this is ridiculous. He's the promoter. It's like Mike Tyson back in the day fighting Douglas. Don King still was telling you Douglas lost the fight on the slow count. You remember that, right? It's just crazy what Oscar De La Hoya is saying here. Okay, so yeah, like Don King back in the days, you know, he's a big promoter, big name. He was running, like, especially the heavyweight division. Any promoter naturally is going to say their guy is winning. You know, it's kind of like... It just would not make sense financially, business-wise, for Oscar De La Hoya to be honest about who really won the fight. But like I said in the previous video, anybody that is honest with themselves and is not some major fandom going on for one guy or the other will tell you in a natural assessment of who they thought won the fight, and it would be Triple G based on punch numbers and a lot of other things. When you're watching the fight, naturally, you don't even need all of that stuff. You just look at the fight and you can see who won. Canelo Alvarez, De La Hoya says, won this fight. Not only is the shadiness being swept under the carpet, the man tested positive for steroids, peds, whatever. It was an illegal substance he said was in his food. Dude needs that. He knows what he's doing. They know what they're doing. They know Triple G is a monster. Canelo Alvarez was off the back foot, landed a clean shot on Triple G. I forget where in that fight. I just watched a quick highlight. And he was like, whoa. You could see in his eyes, I'm not going to be able to do nothing to this guy. This man is like a beast. So, of course, he was going to get up there and try to cheat with some substances, allegedly. Well, he was caught. He was caught. That happened, and he was suspended. They swept this under the carpet. De La Hoya and his team, are they really addressing that? Probably not. And they're going to tell you it was a mistake in the food. The Mexican meat was tainted. Of course they're going to say that. Look, are they really testing this guy for this fight? I would be really worried if I'm the Triple G camp that this guy is not clean. Because I'll tell you what. These fighters, these athletes is very sophisticated. I don't know much about that. As much as I know what's going on in the ring, when you're talking about peds and cheating tests, because there's ways. There's ways. In 2018, dudes are looking unnatural. They're getting in the ring, even in the UFC and many other sports, and they're getting over. They're getting over. So Triple G goes in there naturally in the first fight, wins the fight, in my opinion, in most credible boxing experts' eyes. I would guess that most of them will probably tell you he was winning. He won the fight. And with the draw, like I said in the first prediction, it's on this channel, he would not be permitted to win. They will give Canelo Alvarez, because he's younger, the win by giving a draw or a win if it looked like GGG won. And that's exactly what happened. This is a money thing, a money decision, figuring GGG is not as marketable in the U.S., especially with the fans in Vegas. And Canelo Alvarez is a lot younger. There's a lot more money in that bank, if you will, so to speak. And Triple G's 35 going into that fight, and there's no giant future for him because he's getting old. In boxing, if you're fresh, it's 35 is still old, all right? He's 36. Can he do it again? Can the Beast win again and actually get the nod? Because a lot of scrutiny is going into this fight. The judges are going to be watched under a microscope because boxing is shady. It's corrupt. And I'm a jaded boxing fan. That's right. Can you blame me? Okay, I'm reading through this article. De La Hoya did not see the first bout as a draw. Of course, for the rematch, De La Hoya believes his boxer will win by a wider margin. Yeah, he's looking for those judges, to help him out. Well, okay. De La Hoya is going to say everything positive going into this fight for his money bag with legs walking in the ring, because that's the future of his promotion at this point. That's the biggest name. That's the guy they built up, who Floyd beat easily, like I said on this channel. It's all here. It's in the history of the channel. And they don't expect Golovkin to make the adjustments for the second fight because they believe he's not capable of doing so. Well, that's taking a lot of credit away. They were disappointed because they saw a guy who they thought didn't knock out Daniel Jacobs, thinking Daniel Jacobs is just an average fighter, and he thought he was probably getting older, and they were banking off Canelo going in there and beating him, watching that Jacobs tape, and we're going to get that decision. Wink, wink. And they didn't get it because Triple G actually won, and they had to give it a decision. They had to give it a draw because boxing is shady, and the judges, I'm sorry, in a lot of cases, there's some shade going around, and things aren't right in boxing, and we have a big money fight part 2 happening now. Now, absolutely, Triple G, could he turn 36? Could he get older that night? Yeah. Can Canelo Alvarez win this fight? It's possible. But if this is the same Triple G that went in that first fight, and I suspect Canelo, based on his history, was looking like really shredded, was looking really like something wasn't natural. That's alleged. That's just my opinion. But in the second fight, going into it a couple months ago, he was suspended for trying to cheat. Okay, they could say it was stake. He was suspended. Again, I'm going to say it one more time. He was caught. And some of his fans, I was reading in some posts, believe he got caught. So he felt he needed some JUICE to beat Triple G. So if he's not fooling anyone in the second fight and tricking the testing, he's in trouble. He's in trouble because he himself psychologically probably knew what he was doing going into the second fight. I need some help. I need an edge. And that spells a lot of trouble for Canelo Alvarez in this fight. Maybe even he'll lose by a knockout. I don't know. It's going to be tough for Triple G because he's going to be off the back foot. Some people will call it running. I don't like to say that because Floyd Mayweather, a lot of people say that about Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather employed an amazing ring general style, whether you liked him or hated him. And he was just the man for that. But it's not the same thing when Canelo's off his back foot. And it's not like he's the guy who tried to rush in. Triple G's going to probably push up and get on that chest and do this again at a quicker rate. I'm trying to think real quick. Kirkland. That's what I mean. Real quick. Trying to push up, and Canelo did this with Kirkland, James Kirkland, when it was on his chest, trying to take him out of there. Total different night and day type of fighter. Triple G's more cautious. He's more measured. He's a much more talented once-in-a-lifetime fighter. He knows what he's doing. De La Hoya doesn't know what he's talking about because he makes adjustments. If you watch Triple G's fights, he makes adjustments. Who did he fight? He fought the other heavy puncher from, I'm sorry, the name is escaping me right now. He fought Triple G. I'm going to give you the name right now. Excuse me. David Lemieux, right? That guy thought he was going to come in there, boom, boom, just brawling and swinging wild. Triple G doesn't make adjustments. Triple G boxed him, fought him using his noggin, said, I'm going to break this guy down. I'm going to box him. So Canelo Alvarez, who is thinking he's going to get a win, like, or I believe in his camp and himself in the first fight with Triple G, they thought they were going to get over because he was getting older and he couldn't knock out Jacobs. Little did they know, Jacobs is a great fighter who Canelo might not even beat, okay? And Triple G looked great against him. Daniel Jacobs is special. Daniel Jacobs is a champion in his own right. The guy came back from cancer. The guy probably had issues when he got knocked out by Pirog back in the day. He's got a cancer diagnosis. After that, he couldn't walk. He was crawling to his door to answer his door for his aunt or somebody, a family, a relative, to answer the door. They took the cancer out. So that was all. Dmitry Pirog knocked him out, TKO loss, and after that, the cancer came in, and that's why he's the Miracle Man, and he's not a normal fighter. And Triple G beat him. He's a champion. He knocked out Kid Peter Quillen Chocolate in 1 round. Are you kidding me? At 1 round, was that 1 round? Oh my goodness. Kid Chocolate, what a setback in his career, because Daniel Jacobs knocked him out in 1 round, and Triple G and team and promoters thought, oh, yeah, okay, going into that first Canelo fight, Golovkin couldn't knock this dude out. So they were all wrong in their measurement of what was going on with Triple G. So, like I said, I got to be real. Am I going to take it away from Canelo? Am I going to be one of those people who discredit him if he wins? Am I going to be up here in front of you? Well, Triple G got old that night. He couldn't pull the trigger. He just didn't look right. No, I would have to give the props to Canelo. I would say he didn't look right. He was beat because X, Y, and Z. I would tell you why. I would make an analysis, make an assessment. I'm not going to take credit away from anybody. And that's what type of dude, as far as sports go, the way I try to just do it. I try not to get caught up too much. You know, I'm a fan of a lot of these guys. I'm a big fan, okay? Look, it's no secret. I'm a fan of Triple G. Would I tell you that Canelo, if he did manage to pull this out, this would be an upset to me. In my mind, because Triple G won the first fight and he looked so good doing it, it would be, and then he's going to take some drugs or whatever, illegal somethings, steroids, pads, whatever you want to call them, going into the second fight. I mean, how ironic is this? Let's not get brainwashed, guys. I know it's very easy to hear people on TV and they sound like they know what they're talking about. We're talking about Oscar De La Hoya here, the promoter. So they're going to say, "Oh yeah, he had some steak in Mexico." By the way, Triple G says I eat steaks like that all the time in Big Bear when I'm training. Mexican steaks. Come on. I highly doubt that wasn't planned. Something's fishy's going on there. It's the evidence points where there's fire, where there's smoke, there's fire. That old cliche saying. Look, something shady went on. Canelo got caught. I'm kind of laughing because you see these people on TV and you start believing them. It's really, if you keep repeating this stuff and then putting it to the side, oh, it's no big deal. You know, he ate some tainted steak. We didn't know. Yeah, right. I don't believe you. Sorry. So I'm going off of that. I'm thinking maybe he was on something in the first fight based on his history, and now I don't trust him. I don't trust Canelo and his team. After you get caught once, unfortunately, it's hard to live that down in sports. It's hard to live that down. You got caught. You got suspended going into a fight with a man that looked like he beat you. He kind of beat you. Most people think he beat you. So, and all of a sudden you're on something. Going into the second fight, you get suspended, you get busted, you get caught. And you're trying to tell me, some people are trying to tell me that this was a close fight and they didn't know who won. It was a draw? No way. No freaking way. I think Canelo knows he lost the fight. Psychologically, he's playing mind tricks with himself. And let's assume that he knew he was taking some pads or steroids. So I think that's going to affect his psyche, knowing he's not on that. He don't have that crutch now. Going into the second fight, he don't have that drug crutch that he thought he was going to have in the second rematch because he got caught, he got busted. Real talk, facts, just facts. Not even alleged. He got suspended for taking drugs. Canelo Alvarez, you hear me, Canelo fans? I know you're a little mad, some of you guys, because there's a powerful thing called denial. He got caught taking something. He got caught trying to juice up. He got caught on some drugs. So I'm just saying, in the second fight that we're about to see on pay-per-view, what does this happen in September 15th? Alvarez is going to be naked, so to speak. He's going to have no crutch. It's going to be him versus the guy that really is a monster who he tasted his power. Only Canelo knows how hard Triple G was hitting him that night. And it looked hard. Only he knows. He survived. More props to him because he did stand up. But was he on something? I don't know. I'm not saying he was that night. I'm just saying, going into that second fight, he got suspended. It was delayed, and now here we go. So it's going down. It's going to happen. I think Triple G makes adjustments, but I also think he's going to start earlier, and he's going to really risk some things here. I know he's a very safety-first fighter. He thinks a lot. He's very mechanical in that aspect, the way he employs his pressure. He employs his pressure while thinking. He doesn't do it like Kirkland. It's just wickedly wild, throwing punches, trying to get dudes out of there. By the way, where's Kirkland? A very exciting fighter. I hope he comes back. But anyway, Alvarez has a lot in front of him. Yes, he's the younger man. He's still only 28 years old, and that's what they're banking on. They're banking on that, his youth. But he got nailed in that first fight with a couple big shots. Triple G got caught too, but like I said, the person controlling the fight, most of the fight, the person who looked like they won the fight was Triple G, and this is going to be great. September 15th, HBO pay-per-view. I mean, they're milking this. It's so crazy how I go back and I think about what I was saying. I didn't even watch the videos yet, but I remember saying Triple G will not be permitted to win. Telling you guys that they were going to give a draw, or if it looks like Triple G won, they were going to give it to Canelo. A draw was a gift regardless. And this sets up another huge payday. Like, unfortunately, a lot of things in our society, it's all about the money. It's about that money. They're making another big fight here, and a lot of people in Vegas and a lot of backers of Saul Alvarez want and need him to win. He's only 28. Do you realize how long he can keep going? If he beats Triple G and they want him to win so badly, they can milk this gravy train for a long time. But if he loses and he gets knocked out in spectacular fashion by Triple G, that all comes to an end, the gravy train. It comes to a crashing halt. The house of cards comes falling down, and De La Hoya will be pissed. A lot of people will be mad because there's going to be a lot of money lost. A lot of money. They spent a lot of time building Canelo Alvarez up to this point. They had him in there against an older Shane Mosley. They had him in there against a lot of people building this. He's not an A-plus fighter, making a lot of people think he's an A-plus fighter. Alfredo Angulo, easy. You know, I probably surveyed on his channel. I'll tell you, he would knock him out. Kirkland, Cotto, way past his prime, unanimous decision. Amir Khan, much smaller guy. I mean, come on, these are no-brainer fights. I can be great at picking guys who Canelo would beat all night and day, up and down. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., oh my goodness, like who didn't see that coming? I mean, they're building this guy up like old school wrestling. He's fighting cheap guys, old guys. And then when you make people believe that he's an A-plus fighter until he gets in there with a real ring general who exposed him. At the top, A-plus fighter, Floyd Mayweather. And that's why I knew going into that fight with no problem on the channel. I even think I said it would look like a sparring match. I was right. Just saying. He did learn a lot in that fight. He did get a lot of good experience. Canelo Alvarez is very good. He is at the top of boxing for sure. He deserves to be there, but he's no A-plus fighter. And if Triple G is on point, looking youthful like his last fight, and he's looking good, I do not see Canelo Alvarez winning legitimately. Do I see shenanigans? Absolutely. Even though the judges are under the microscope, boxing is so corrupt, I won't be surprised if Triple G looks like he's won and he wins and he wins the fight and they give it another draw or give it to Canelo again, because that's how boxing gets down. That's what they do. That's the way the sport's been going. And this is all proven by many years of corruption. Many years. Pernell Whitaker versus Julio Cesar Chavez. Who won that fight? Pernell Whitaker. But who won in the history books? Officially. Go look it up. You'll see. I don't even want to say it. I don't want to go there right now. But look, this is all about money, money, money. And Triple G winning this fight is not as bankable in the long run. As much as I'm a fan of him, as Canelo Alvarez because of the age and the years that he could keep going. 28, 36. Imagine if Canelo fights to 36. That's a long time. He's got almost another 10 years in him, really, of pay-per-views, of he could, after Triple G, he can go on to fight someone easy, you know, and just a pay-per-view, banging out the big bucks. Triple G wins, he's got a window, let's be honest. History of the sport will show you, even at the top of your game, at 36 is old for a boxer. Make no mistake about it. That's why I picked Deontay Wilder to beat the great, really good Victor Ortiz. Ortiz was no joke skill-wise, but I knew going into the fight, and I could pick it with such confidence when a lot of these guys weren't even addressing the age. It's showtime, walking in the ring. I didn't hear nobody talking about it, really, at the time. Oh, post hindsight's 2020 with a lot of boxing fans and so-called boxing experts out there. Of course, they're going to tell you after the fight, well, hey, Ortiz was almost 40, and he might have been even older, you know, officially, because he was from Cuba. So maybe Luis Ortiz, maybe, you know, he's a lot older. After the fight, it's apparent, right? Hindsight's 2020, right? But Ortiz going into that fight was almost 40. He's 39 years old right now. I think he was 38. 38-year-old fighters, even if they didn't take a lot of damage like Ortiz, it's just not going to happen in a lot of cases except for anomalies. If a boxing anomaly is Bernard the Executioner Hopkins. Very rare, few and far between. That's why, love him or hate him, Floyd Mayweather, as one of the best fighters of the 2000s, actually the best fighter, pound for pound, ever champion of the 2000s, and you won't see someone like that in a long time, because he could go so long and he was smart to retire because he knows his faculties upstairs. He knows the damage a fighter takes. His uncle Roger Mayweather, unfortunately, having health issues with memory loss, wandering around in the middle of the night. He went from being an on-point trainer just to, devolving into a person that's wandering around and getting up out of nowhere, not knowing where he is. And it's unfortunate he's displaying signs of dementia. I'm not a doctor, but it just sounds like that from what Floyd was saying. So Floyd is aware of that, and he got out of the game. He's promoting now. Why would he need to come back and fight someone like Canelo again, or get back in a game like that? Unless it's a Conor McGregor. Come on. Like whoever thought that Conor McGregor was going to beat Floyd Mayweather, they really don't know boxing, okay? So anyway, I predicted all this stuff. Like I said, hindsight's 2020. So, to wrap this all up, I'm going to probably make a couple more videos on this. I'm just saying, Canelo Alvarez, really good fighter. I'm not knocking him. I'm not bad-mouthing anyone, but he did get caught cheating. He did get caught cheating, and that's not cool in a fight game, because their lives are affected by this. Fighters' lives are at risk. We forget that sometimes. They're taking shots to the head, brain damage. Every time they're in that ring, this is permanent damage. You can't get that back when you're out of that ring. That goes for anybody. So if you got a guy that's in there and he's cheating and he's caught, not only do you lose credibility, you lose a lot more. You diminish in so many personality, your whole persona, in my opinion, is just questionable. It's so shady. Triple G. Did I say triple right? Oh, that's funny. Triple G has every right to be mad. And he's mad. I don't know if he's showing it that way, really. I haven't seen any more recent interviews, but he has a right to be mad. And I think someone like him, who's a polished, thinking, smart, champion, elite fighter, is definitely going to transform that negative energy into something positive by focusing more on what he has to do to really get an official end to this fight. I think he's going to definitely go for a knockout. Not so easy to knock out Canelo. Not so easy. I'll give him that. Not so easy to knock out Canelo. And if he's going to try in the first round, that would be silly. Yeah, can it happen? He's got a huge punch, right? That's the last thing to go in a fighter. His punch is really huge, but he's going to have to break him down a little bit and then try to get him out of there. And I'm scared. I'm afraid of the dishonesty, the dishonest boxing sport. My worry is that Triple G will be winning, and they're going to rob him again because the sport's so corrupt, and I have no faith in it. I don't really. Let's make no mistake. Make no mistake about it. I actually walked away from this channel at one point, and I had a website with doing articles. I was writing boxing articles under my YouTube video, like what's going on, predicting, and it was popping. It was getting views. It was getting traffic. And I said, I can't do this. I can't do it. It wasn't the time with my other YouTube channels or what was going on in the world at that time. It was, I remember, like clear as a bell, just going, I'm so frustrated with all the shenanigans in this sport. I am so disgruntled. I'm so mad. And I see all the corruption encroaching on the sport of boxing, and it's not stopping. And I got frustrated. And, you know, now I'm looking at that right now. I got my passion back recently. That's why I'm here. But, you know, I'm like, wow, what else can I do on this channel to talk to you guys and run streams and stuff if I get frustrated, you know, with the sport of boxing like that? And it might be a Triple G looks like he won robbery again, and I walk away. So we'll see what happens. You know, my prediction is Triple G wins this thing, and it looks like he wins this thing, and there's a possible robbery again on the table. Not for Canelo. Look, if Canelo looked like he won, and he did win, and a lot of people saying he won, and they gave it to Triple G, highly unlikely, I would be the first to tell you. Believe it. You go through my predictions, and you'll see that I am straight up. I don't play that. I will tell you, unbiased. I'll just tell you what's going on, what I think. And that's it. I'll be back soon, guys. See you next time. So many seeking power like the Game of Thrones. Planets are revolving around all your homes while you're staring in your phones. Some stay chasing that 15 minutes of fame in the social media game. Time is gonna pour water all over that flame. The earth life dims fast. Pretty soon we'll all be ghosts in the past. Some of us will be asking why couldn't it last? The sea is only so deep. The hour